Between 2001 and 2016, the U.S. lost 11 million acres of farmland to development.
Now we got two farmers in Houston. They have found a way to blend both development and farming.
Love it.
Together. Instead of homes replacing farmland, their homes are built around it. We've got Scott Snodgrass and Clayton Garrett joining us now with more on their vision called Indigo. Good afternoon, good morning, gentlemen, depending on where you're watching us. I guess you're in Houston, so I guess it's still technically morning for you. But let's go with Scott first and talk to you. You're developing this new neighborhood. How exactly can you incorporate a mostly dense population, but still consider it farmland overall?
So we were already farming this property. It was our farm, and we wanted to make sure that as the development happened, that we kept that heart of the farm involved in the community. And so we found a model for development that's actually been used for probably thousands of years, kind of the English hamlet model, where you have all of your population in one dense area, but you have ecosystems and agricultural working lands around it that support it. And so we used a similar model. We densified a little bit, and we had to work with our local jurisdictions to get approvals for that, but densified where the people are actually living, and then kept more than half of the community in open space.
I love this. Look at that. It's right across.
Beautiful.
You literally could walk across the street, get some green beans, and go home. So, Clayton, how many homes are in this development, and how much land then is dedicated to the farming?
We have 650 homes and about 120 multifamily units, so another portion of the population that can rent. And then there's about 42 acres of farm, so 235-acre overall project and about 42 acres of farm, with that being a variety of farming endeavors. So part of it's vegetable farming, some animal husbandry, mostly chickens, pasture, and some places for people to roam and engage on the farm as well.
So, Scott, who does the farming? The residents there themselves? Do they have to volunteer and sign up? I got the tomatoes this week. How does it work?
Well, everybody gets a chance to be involved, but we've found that, and we actually have another company that offer these services to developers. That's how we got into doing this development. And we found that having professionals manage the farm at least as the baseline is really important to keeping it functioning well.
Totally.
Because the reality of individuals' lives is they'll ebb and flow in and out of being able to commit volunteering hours. So we have plenty of different ways. You could just walk through the farm while you're exercising and enjoy the beauty that way. You can come out and volunteer during dedicated volunteer hours. We actually also have an area called Farm Club where people can come and rent their own little plot of land and farm alongside our professional farmers and learn more about it themselves. And then we'll have some edible plants throughout the community within some of the park spaces along some trails where people will be able to just pick fruit off of trees on their own as they're walking.
So I want to talk more about that, because I have heard of some of these communities, instead of bushes, they're like blueberry bushes, right?
Great.
So you can just go along the way. But what about the overall farm, Clayton? Could I just willy-nilly go out there and pick some vegetables if I need them, or do you guys collect them and hand them out? Do you have to pay for them? How does it work?
Most of our models, there's different models for different places. Here at Indigo, we've really designed it to be a place where the farmers cultivate the land and pick and then give to the residents either through a share or program. There's some sort of sales mechanism that will help have the understanding for the resident buyers or the outside party. So we really wanted the farm to be a gateway, but there are pick events. Edible landscaping is sort of different than farming, and so there are places where that's just a passive experience where you can go and engage, pick a fig tree or a fruit tree or blueberries, like you said. And that's tremendously enjoyable, but those are very seasonal and quick time periods.
You guys mentioned at the beginning of this interview how this is the way societies and communities were built originally, right? And then what happens is you get so many people and population grows, and so you have to expand. So what happens in your neighborhood if you get too many people who want to live there? You can't expand because you want to keep that farm feel. Do you just buy more property and do the same thing somewhere else?
Well, we'd love to do more of this. Absolutely. It won't necessarily be right around where we are. And I don't know that there's a perfect size for a community like this. Is there a limit where you have to stop at some point? I think there's a lot of flexibility in it. So our hope is that people really identify with this model. They get engaged, excited, it resonates with them. They want to join in. And then we're able to just continue going around and creating more communities that are really at their heart serving people. And one of the ways to do that is through food and through providing open space and access to nature.
I'd love to live in a community like this. I just love the concept
beautiful.
of it. And
Yeah,
it looks
I hope there's
gorgeous,
more people
too.
that do this.
Yeah. Scott Snodgrass and Clayton Garrett, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it and can't
Appreciate it so
wait to
much.
see what else you guys get up to.
I mean, there are other people doing similar kind of,
Yeah.
neighborhoods, which is
Yeah.
great. But if you get more and more of them, if you had the option, I would totally pick this too.
Yeah.
Because it would teach kids how to, farm and
where
grow
the
their
food comes from. A lot of kids don't know where the food comes
Correct.
from.
Get to work. That's what I would tell them. For more stories like this, make sure you guys check out Pattern on the Weather Channel app, which you can find on Roku. You could also find us on these streaming channels.